Hello everyone. In the previous lecture, we have studied about the introductory part of the ionic equilibria, that is chemical equilibrium, ionic equilibrium, strong electrolytes, weak electrolytes, degree of dissociation, percentage dissociation, and equilibrium concentrations of cations and anions. In this video, we are studying its further part. We will study about the acids and bases. Acids are the familiar chemical compounds that we come across in everyday life. In this table, some acids and bases are listed which we consume in day-to-day life through some food items or edible items. Acetic acid is there in vinegar. Citric acid is there in lemon. Tartaric acid is there in tamarind. Oxalic acid is there in guava. Magnesium hydroxide is one component of antacid which we use as a remedy over the acidity. So, these are some acids and bases which we consume in everyday life. Generally, acids are sour in taste, bases are bitter in taste. But this much is not enough to identify acids and bases. So, to identify acids and bases, different scientists have made different attempts. They have put forth their theories, which are called as the acid-base theories. The first acid-base theory is given by Arrhenius, which is called as Arrhenius acid-base theory. According to Arrhenius, acid is the substance which releases hydrogen ions in the solution. Hydrochloric acid in water produces hydrogen ions. Acetic acid in water produces hydrogen ions. So, both are Arrhenius acids. According to Arrhenius, base is the substance which releases hydroxyl ions in the solution. In the solution is very important. Releases hydroxyl ions in the solution. NaOH in water produces hydroxyl ions. Ammonium hydroxide in water produces hydroxyl ions. So these are the Arrhenius bases. But this can produce H plus and OH minus ions in the water. This theory failed to explain the acidic and basic behavior in the aprotic solvents, or the reaction of acid and base in the gaseous phase. This theory couldn't explain. As well as sodium carbonate is basic in nature, though it has no hydroxyl ions. So this couldn't explain by the Arrhenius acid-base theory. Another theory is Lowry-Bronsted acid-base theory. According to this theory, acid is the substance which donates proton to another substance. Proton donors. Proton is H plus because it has only one proton. It doesn't have neutron and electrons, only one proton. So H plus is also called as proton. So proton donors are acids, and reverse of that, proton acceptors are bases. In this example, HCl is proton donor, so acid. Ammonia is proton acceptor, so base. Produces ammonium ion and chloride ion. In the reverse direction, ammonium ion is proton donor, so acid. Chloride is proton acceptor, so base. In this example, chloride ion is obtained from the hydrochloric acid and ammonium ion is obtained from the ammonia. In the hydrochloric acid and chloride ion, there is difference of only one H plus. Similarly, in the ammonia and ammonium ion, there is only difference of H plus. So these pairs of acids and bases which differs only in H plus are called as conjugate acid-base pairs. These are called as conjugate acid-base pairs. See, in this example, hydrochloric acid acts as a proton donor, so acid. Water acts as a proton acceptor, so base. Produces hydronium ion and chloride ion. In the reverse direction, hydronium ion acts as proton donor, so acid. Chloride acts as a proton acceptor, so base. These are conjugate acid-base pairs. Now another theory which gives little wider definition of acid and base is Levy's acid-base theory. According to Levy's, acid is any species that accept a share in an electron pair, and base is any species that donates a share in an electron pair. So electron pair acceptor is acid and electron pair donor is base. See, in this example, ammonia is electron pair donor and hydrogen ion is electron pair acceptor. So electron pair acceptor is acid, electron pair donor is base. Here, in the second example, boron trifluoride BF3 and ammonia are forming bond between each other. While doing so, nitrogen of ammonia is electron rich. It donates the electron pair to boron. Here boron is electron deficient. It has only 6 electrons in its outermost shell. It needs 2 electrons to complete octet. So it is electron deficient. It accepts the electron from the nitrogen. So it is acid, Levy's acid. And nitrogen of ammonia donates the electron pair. So it is Levy's base. And the bond formed between boron and nitrogen is called as the dative bond or coordinate bond, because the electron pair which is donated by only atom that remains shared, or the shared electron pair is donated by only one bonded atom. Here also, in the nitrogen and hydrogen, in the ammonium ion, the electron pair which is shared is donated by only one bonded atom. So it is called as dative bond or coordinate bond, which is indicated by the arrow from donor to acceptor. See here, from donor to acceptor it is shown. From donor to acceptor. Here also from donor to acceptor it is shown. Here is one question given. All Bronsted bases are also Levy's bases. Bronsted bases are proton acceptors. Levy's bases are electron pair donors. So electron pair donors can accept the proton. Reverse of that. But all Bronsted acids are not Levy's acids. But all Bronsted acids are not Levy's acid. Bronsted acids, proton donor. Levy's acids, electron pair acceptor. See here boron, in this BF3, boron is electron pair acceptor, which is Levy's acid. But it doesn't accept the proton. If it could accept proton, it would have called Bronsted acid. But it is not accepting the proton, so it is not Bronsted acid. So all Bronsted acids are not Levy's acids. Means Bronsted acid means those which are proton donors are not the Levy's acid. Boron is here not Bronsted acid. It is not Bronsted acid. So this is about the question. Now, amphoteric nature of water. Water has the ability to act as an acid as well as a base. When it is reacted with the ammonia, which is basic in nature, it acts as an acid. And when it is reacted with the hydrochloric acid, it acts as a base. So it behaves as an acid as well as base, so it is called as amphoteric in nature. Ionization of acids and bases. Acids are classified as strong acids and strong bases, weak acids and weak bases on the basis of their extent of dissociation. HCl and NaOH are strong. HCl is strong acid, NaOH is strong base. They undergoes complete dissociation. Examples of the strong acids and strong bases are given here. Then weak acids and weak bases are partially dissociated in water. And there develops an equilibrium between dissociated ions and undissociated molecules. Example is acetic acid is undergoing dissociation to form acetate ion and H plus ion here. Ammonium hydroxide dissociates into ammonium ion and hydroxyl ions and equilibrium is established. These are weak acids and weak bases. Few examples are given. Formic acid, hydrofluoric acid, H2S, weak bases, iron hydroxide, copper hydroxide. These examples are given. As these acids and bases are weak, they never undergo complete dissociation. And there develops an equilibrium between dissociated ions and undissociated molecules. Hence we can write the dissociation equilibrium for a acid Ha as a H plus and A minus. This is the equilibrium reaction. Ha acid undergoes dissociation to form H plus and A minus ions and the equilibrium is developed. For this equilibrium reaction we can write the equilibrium constant. As it is acid, we have denoted subscript as a A, which is called as the dissociation constant of acid or acid dissociation constant. So dissociation constant is equal to the product of concentration of product divided by product of concentration of reactant. So H plus A minus are product and HA is the reactant here. So concentration of H plus into concentration of A minus divided by concentration of HA, which is called as acid dissociation constant. Similarly, for a weak base BOH, it undergoes dissociation as B plus and OH minus ion and the equilibrium is developed. So we can write the equilibrium constant for this weak base, which is called as the base dissociation constant, that is Kb. It is concentration of B plus into concentration of OH minus divided by concentration of BOH. So acid dissociation constant and base dissociation constant we have written. Now here we are going to study about the Ostwald dilution law. Ostwald dilution law for weak acid. Consider a acid, weak acid Ha, which undergoes dissociation to form H plus and A minus ions. So we can write the equilibrium constant, which is called as acid dissociation constant, in this way just now we have written. Suppose 1 mole of the acid Ha is initially present in V volume of the solution, V dm cube of the solution. At equilibrium, the fraction dissociated would be alpha, where alpha is the degree of dissociation of the acid. So the fraction of the acid that remains undissociated would be 1 minus alpha. See here in this table. At equilibrium, 1 minus alpha moles of Ha are there, alpha moles of H plus are there, and alpha moles of A minus are there. Because initially, before dissociation, moles of Ha were 1 mole. And moles of H plus and A minus were 0, 0. And alpha moles are dissociated at equilibrium. So, these have produced H plus alpha, A minus alpha we got, and the remaining moles of the Ha will be 1 minus alpha. And we know that concentration is N by V, number of moles by V. So this concentration becomes 1 minus alpha divided by V, alpha divided by V, alpha divided by V. Putting these values in the acid dissociation constant, we will get this expression. And simplifying, we will get this expression. Now here 1 by V is nothing but the C. 1 by V is nothing but the C. Putting this here, we will get this expression. alpha square into C divided by 1 minus alpha. Now for weak acid HA, alpha is very, very small. So 1 minus alpha is approximately equal to 1. So the equation will become Ka is equal to alpha square divided by V, or Ka is equal to alpha square into C. And alpha is equal to under root Ka divided by C, or alpha is equal to Ka into V, under root Ka into V. It means the degree of dissociation of weak acid is inversely proportional to the square root of its concentration, or directly proportional to the square root of the volume of the solution containing 1 mole of the electrolyte. Oswald dilution law for weak base. In the same way, consider BOH is a weak base which undergoes dissociation to form B plus and OH minus ions, and the equilibrium is developed. So we can write the equilibrium constant for it, which is called as base dissociation constant, which is equal to concentration of B plus and concentration of OH minus divided by concentration of BOH. See here, amount present at equilibrium. BOH amount present at equilibrium is 1 minus alpha moles. B plus is alpha moles, OH minus alpha moles. And N by V is nothing but the C. We know that. So 1 minus alpha divided by V, or alpha divided by V, and alpha divided by V are the concentrations at equilibrium. Putting the values of these concentrations in the acid dissociation constant expression, we get the expression like this. Simplifying, we get this one. And we know that 1 by V is equal to C. So the equation will become Kb is equal to alpha square into C divided by 1 minus alpha. Or for the weak base, alpha is very, very small. That is 1 minus alpha is approximately equal to 1. So the equation will become Kb is equal to alpha square into C, or Kb is equal to alpha square divided by V. So alpha is equal to under root Kb divided by C, or alpha is equal to under root Kb into V. Means alpha is inversely proportional to the square root of the concentration of that electrolyte or acid, or alpha is directly proportional to the square root of the volume of the solution. The meaning is like this. Thus, the degree of dissociation of weak base is inversely proportional to the square root of its concentration and is directly proportional to the square root of the volume of the solution containing 1 mole of weak base. So, in this video, we have discussed about the acid-base theories and dissociation constant of acid, which is acid dissociation constant, and base dissociation constant, and Oswald dilution law. In the further video, we will study the next part.